Hey, what is going on? Now, I've been doing Jiu-Jitsu since 2016. I've been doing the knee cut pass since 2017. And the other weekend, I had a light bulb moment after I've done this move for half a decade. And I just realized some new information that's really gonna help your game. So let's get into it. We're gonna do this and then we're gonna do some rolling. Now, we have a couple of light bulb moments. One is gripping, their gripping point on the entry, much like gripping on the knuckle line, I'm gripping on that toe line. And here is the big kicker. I have never looked at knee cut or knee slice. It's the same technique, just different ways of, potato. Now, typically before, when I would do the knee cut pass, I would think of it as I'm trying to get my knee cutting across their inner thigh. However, look at my knee placement. She's telling me to align my shin with the spine and get my hips down into the pocket of Laura's left hip, get inside position with my elbow and use my hand to pin Laura's right leg with my left hand and settle in. Now, how this position differs from the typical knee slice is the typical knee slice, my shin would be across her inner thigh. With this knee slice position, this entry is basically like knee on belly, except your shin is right up the sternum. So to think of this knee cut entry as basically a knee on belly, except with a different orientation of your knee, is a light bulb moment. And when you're on the receiving end of this, their knee is basically like right here in your xiphoid process. And the whole experience is like 10 times more painful because of the amount of pressure that you can put between opening up the hips with the pinning of the knee to the ground with her left hand and the flaring of the elbow with her right elbow, flaring open the leg. So you're basically pinning them and stretching them open. And if you do Jiu-Jitsu, you know any opportunity where you can make things more painful, it zaps their energy. People have been tortured for like the past 3 minutes or less likely to fight you. They're at that point. Your goal when you're passing somebody is to make it, especially with pressure passing, is to make it so freaking painful that they are just like, please just pass my guard, just make it stop, make it end, just take it. Like, that's literally your number one goal. And with this position, this does that because of the knee control. And another beautiful thing with this type of knee control is not only does it allow you greater control and greater pressure upon the entry of knee slicing to pass guard, what it also does is if they try to do a knee shield, so if they try to get, it would be Laura's left knee slid across your torso to stop your pass, you can use that knee to roll them back to their back from on their side, because they need to be on their side when they're putting up this knee shield. So you can use your knee as a leverage point to control them and get them their back to the mat. back. All right, now here we are. We're gonna start some rolling.
It's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday.
I'm looking to get an entry point right now so I can grab her feet. That way I can work the technique that was just shown. Because for me, there's no greater time to do a technique than when you first learn it. You want to get it out. And right now she's trying to guillotine me. And I'm laughing because I just edited a video where her coach guillotined me from that same position, so I was already expecting it because I had edited that video this morning. Right now I'm at Precision Jiu-Jitsu. This is the same gym that Alex West goes to.
Stop yourself without any words. I got so high, I scratched it, I bled. Love myself better than you. Know it's wrong.
So right now I'm doing a classic entry to get a tight waist, and I'm going in to get a tight waist to do some tight waist passing while I'm very conscious of being open to get guillotined and obviously not leaving any openings. So when passing butterfly guard, I'm getting my knee to her tailbone in order to weaken the butterfly hooks. That way she can't raise me like she just did. But if you pin your knee to their butt, and right now I'm stepping over, pushing down, controlling that knee is huge. Her right knee I'm controlling with my left hand. I'm doing that in order to try to get my right foot over. And now that I have this, now I'm going to knee slide. And she slaws that top hook in, and then I step over. I have back control, and she is wanting to escape my back control by first beating the hooks. And so you can actually still maintain back control if you have your legs crossed between theirs and like a guard. And she's doing a good job of keeping her hips up. If somebody ever has back control on you, the first step to escape any back control position is to get your hips up off the ground and drive your head back into them. That way it forces them, you can choose whatever side you want to go to. Typically you want to go to the side where you have their arm in your armpit. And right now my back control is extremely high. So from here I'm looking to transition. In my mind, what I was thinking right there was like, let's see if I can get a back triangle, because a back triangle is one of the most controlling positions you can get. Back triangles are the shiznit. So right now I have her in a body triangle with the lock, top locked, as I am playing the choke game. Now, the number one thing to learn when you have back position against somebody who's good is hand fighting. Hand fighting is extremely important in order to win the rear naked choke game when you have somebody's back. And here, you can't see it, but I think at this point I was just going for like a BS Americana. Like sometimes I just like to make stuff up and see if it works. And I had her arm like this, and I was like, is this doing anything? And she's like, absolutely not. I'm like, can you at least fake it for me?
Today's gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you.
I transitioned from knee on belly to the mount, and whenever you have mount, the next step to gain a more dominant control is to get to high mount. When you get to high mount, that means that you take their hips out of the equation, and their bridge and roll to escape mount is less effective because your hips are basically on their chest instead of above their hips.
I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do.
I think the round ended there. but we have more rounds. The fun doesn't stop.
That the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do.
Next we have Laura. Laura is a complete pit bull.
On the microphone with Ross MD. All people in the dance will agree that we're well qualified to represent the LBC. Me and the weed, we gon' run to the party, dance to the rhythm, it gets harder, harder. I got you colder.
So I grab her toe line to try to get an entry into the knee cut pass, and she is defending. She grabs my leg. She is going into a single leg X entry. She really loves this entry. She loves to sweep, and then, right now she's attempting to do a tripod sweep from single leg X. Laura loves to heel hook. She is a heel hooker by nature. Anytime somebody's trying to heel hook you, get your foot to the ground. That way you don't have heel exposure. And here I go for an arm bar. She defends by clasping her arms together and getting my head in a hold. And she taps to the arm bar. So now she's going in for the pass. I'm going in for the knee shield, and she started to do the move where she needs to put me back on my back using her knee as leverage. Basically using her knee, driving, yes, there it is right there. So that's how she beat the knee shield for a second, and then I posted on her. Right now I'm going in for she knows what I'm doing because I've done this to her before, but basically if you can get a Kimura grip on that arm, it's called the Kimura trap. From the Kimura trap, there's a bunch of cool stuff that you can do. I have a ton of videos where I do stuff from there. If you go to my shorts page, I break down all the rolls and even some drilling and cut out just the techniques and name the techniques. Here I come up on a single leg and then get the far leg for basically like a double from dogfight position. And then from here, I hold her near side leg. And the reason why I do this is because I don't want her to get her right knee in, because then that would mean a guard retention. And here what I typically love to do is I typically love to get a Kimura grip, and she is doing such a great job of keeping her arms straight and posting on my armpit in order to prevent me from getting that Kimura grip on her, which is a great defense. Anytime that somebody is trying to get a Kimura, like a Kimura grip, it's harder to get a Kimura grip when somebody's arm is straight. So right now my head is underneath her arm. Anytime that you are in side control and you can get your head underneath their arm like this is a perfect entry for a arm triangle, aka head and arm choke. The crux is getting over without getting caught between their legs. And you can see my transition, you do ballerina toes. That way you don't get caught in their legs, and then you windshield washer your legs over. That transition is key. Otherwise, if you can get caught in their legs during the transition. So I know right now she wants to heel hook me. So I'm putting all my weight into that leg so that I don't give her heel exposure. That way she can't heel hook me as I clear her hooks from my hips. That way she can't control me. Ooh, great transition. Yeah, from single leg X, you can do a back take. We go for another round. So right now what I'm doing is I am pummeling in order to get inside position to go for a necktie. And she isn't letting me have anything. And that's a really good way to fight. You never want somebody controlling your head with a necktie. So she's doing an excellent job of clearing any grip I have on her, and I'm doing the same. The first step when you're fighting, it's really grips. If you let somebody get a hold of you, you lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let anybody touch you like that. I'm trying to, that was a very good snap down. So there I was, when we were standing, I was trying to set up a sumigeshi. I was trying to basically go for like a takedown. So right here, she is pinning my top leg in order to pass my guard, and I am posting on her knee in a feeble attempt for her not to pass, because I've been on the bottom of her side control before, and let me tell you, not my favorite place to be. So right now she has my head, and I know if I can, since my head is under her arm, I know if I can capture her head right here. So I kind of sneak in a crossface. I know I have an arm triangle set up, and in order for me to get the arm triangle, I would need to transition to the other side of her. And you can see that she's kind of using the wall in order to stop my transition over to the other side to get this arm triangle choke, also called a head and arm choke. And she's even using her right arm to grip my ankle. That way it prevents the transition over.
I've been drinking and busting too, and I've been thinking of busting you.
So here they call it a rear naked choke. They call it a choke hold, or an arm triangle choke. They call it a choke hold because it is a choke and also a hold. Anytime you have somebody's head and arm, that's a very controlling position that you have. So that's why here I'm keeping the position until I can transfer, until I can get over. But she does a very good escape. And so right now I have my leg over her head, and anytime I get dragged like that, it feels like I'm a serial killer movie. Like Dahmer is like, get over here. Before I was dragged, Jeffrey Dahmer style, use your feet to push against their hips. This is the traditional open guard. This helps keep them away. It's typically seen more in MMA fights when somebody's trying to punch you in the face. If you have your feet on their hips, you create a distance. That way their strikes either don't land or are too far to cause any damage. So right now she is doing her knee cut move. As you can see, she was trying to get her knee between mine. And this is such a great pass. Very simple, easy pin and spin, baby. Just pin and spin. And right here, what I'm doing is I am keeping my knee and elbow extremely close together. That way she can't gain access to my torso to like cut across. I mean, realistically, if this were an MMA fight, or a self-defense situation, this isn't, you know, this fetal position probably wouldn't be my first choice. Right now, and now that she has back access and she's trying to control me, the key thing here is wrist control. Like I was saying before, the name of the game when you're trying to choke somebody is winning the hand fight battle. The name of the game when somebody's trying to choke you is wrist control. So whatever hand they're trying to sneak by, if you can get, you know, a 2-on-1, that's a good way to not get choked. An even better way is making sure they don't get your back in the first place. But so here's an example of getting head and arm control. And from side turtle, she tries to go for a fat man roll. And I complete a back step pass to get my leg out of half guard. And you can see my right arm is stopping her from regaining guard. Let me tell you one thing. That right arm that's by her hip, that is the linchpin. That is the key thing that is stopping her from regaining guard. If you ever pass somebody's guard and you're like, how the hell did they just regain guard so quickly? How the hell did they just escape my side control? I bet you any money it's because you are leaving a space where my right arm is. That is the key that is preventing her from regaining guard and escaping my side control. There always needs to be something on their near side hip. Your knee needs to have contact with it. Your arm needs to be posted by it. Something needs to be there. If you are focused on, let's say, trying to get an Americana while in side control and you're like, how come they always escape? It's because you're not focused on getting something to block their near side hip. That is the key to maintaining side control. You probably have not, I was gonna say you heard it here first, folks, but that's literally. So you can see how my right knee is firmly against her hip until I transition. Right now, I'm knee sliding over. So right now my head is underneath her arm again, and I'm waiting for a good transition to get over to the other side to complete an arm triangle choke. And right now she's rolling onto her side. So I switch to a arm in rear naked choke is what we call it on our curriculum. So basically you have their head and arm and you have a rear naked choke configuration with your arms, and you're using the rear naked choke configuration to do what the gable grip configuration would do. So it's the same choking mechanics, just with a different grip type. So here I am securing a body triangle and muffling, because that's always fun. If you're interested in doing MMA and you want to see how strikes would play out from a purely strategic standpoint, try muffling, because people typically react to muffling in a similar manner as they would to striking. They typically lift up their hands and try to get the muffle off. It's the same movement as if you were punching somebody in the face and they were to turtle, and it's a natural reaction to getting hit in the face. And it's also a distraction. So in MMA, you know, a lot of focus is put on striking to people who typically don't train. And my first coach told me, because I was like, yeah, I can't wait to let's get striking in. And he was like, Crystal, he trained dogs. And he was like, when I am training a dog for, to be a police dog, I show them the technique first, and then we start with light touches, and then we do the whole suit thing. And then he's like, striking is just a distraction. If the technique isn't there first, then there's nothing to work with. And it's so true. And since then, I've viewed striking completely in a completely different light. I view striking now more, especially, of course, there's knockout power, but during a fight, using the strikes as a distraction to set up other things is a really powerful tool. And right there, we were just showing, so if, so for example, if somebody has your back and if somebody has a triangle on you, a body triangle, and if the lock is on the bottom side, you can get an ankle lock. Now, here's the defense to that. So let's say you have a body triangle, and they're showing a body triangle escape right now. But if anybody ever has if you ever have somebody in a body triangle and your lock is on the bottom side and they try to ankle lock you, take their head and post on it to push their head away, and that's the defense that's the defense against getting ankle locked when you're in a body triangle with the lock down. If you got all that. All right, and yeah, that is the end of the footage. So yeah, we were over at Precision Jiu-Jitsu. That's Sean Melanson school, and Alex West. That's their school. We're training with Stephanie, and we're very happy to go visit them and to get some training in. So yeah, until next time, bye.